Y'all in my Kingston. Everyone and body wanna hear me on this one.
First and foremost, free the whole world, boss, and R.I.P. to XXXTentacion. For those of you seeing this for the first time, my name is Caspian Montgomery and I am the official translator of Vybz Kartel. I have been seeing reviews all over YouTube and people are loving Vybz Kartel's verse, but a lot of them do not even understand what he is truly saying. So I am here to break down the patois into proper English so you get a better understanding of this man. And if this is your first time hearing Vybz Kartel, hopefully it won't be your last. He is actual royalty in Jamaica. He is the king of dancehall. He runs music literally in the whole Caribbean. He is the man to go to if you want to hear the best of the best that comes from Jamaica. And he has been imprisoned since 2011. He is an innocent man and he's been imprisoned, and he drops #1 songs every single week still to this day, and we are all hoping that his freedom comes very soon. But I do hope you enjoy this breakdown. Again, R.I.P. to XXX, and thank you to all his fans for continuing to keep his message and his music alive. So without further ado, teacher, please begin.
His Imperial Majesty, I listen as so we royal. XXX crew, so we loyal. Big body, fat pussy, broad gal, come here, back it up, gal, boss away.
Adi, the innocent, begins his verse by letting you know that he comes directly from a royal bloodline, because Rastafarians, they do hail Selassie I, and that was an emperor from Ethiopia, and I do beg you to do some more research. Just Google it. He was an Ethiopian emperor and he just did wonders for the people. And then he says, we are XXX crew, so we are loyal, and we all know, I myself, I have been a big fan of XXX for a long time. I mean, way before he ever had a song on the radio, and I followed his movement, and his fans and his followers are some of the most loyal people next to Vybz Kartel's Gaza Nation that I have ever seen. So he's stating that, yes, we are very loyal. We are always going to keep up XXX's name. He's giving a great shout out to XXX. And then he says, a big body, a fat vagina, a broad gal, so a very thick woman, nice big body. In Jamaica they call it a steam fish and okra body. In America they call it a thick girl. He says, come here, back it up, and then bust a wine. And that means to, and I beg you, if you have never seen this, go to YouTube and just type in Jamaican whining, and you will see women doing some of the sexiest dances you've ever seen. But a whine is basically a more elegant twerk. You must see for yourself.
Been up in a 10 and in a 9. Miami gal, Caribbean wine. Yeah, they say you're a real body blocker. Yankee say you a bad motherfucker.
Our great Gaza leader then tells the woman to bend up in a 9 or a 10, and then he says, He's referencing a smash hit song that he made a few years ago. It is literally an anthem in Jamaica. So I urge you to go and listen to that song and watch the video, because it is just amazing. But bending up in a 10 and a 9 is different hand positions on the clock, and the women out there, they are very flexible, and they are just bending in different positions on the clock with their body and poking their glutes out, and it is just a sight to see. And then he says, Miami girl, give a Caribbean wine, and we all know Miami has a very big influence in the Caribbean, and we all know that XXX is from Florida, and there are tons of Jamaican and Caribbean people in Florida, and we all also know that XXX is of Jamaican descent. And then he says, the Yardie say, and a Yardie is an actual Jamaican, a person who was born in Jamaica, they are called yardies. He says, you are a real buddy brucker to this woman. And a buddy means penis in Jamaica. So he's saying, you break the buddy, you make the men ejaculate and their penises go directly to sleep. That is a buddy brucker. And then he says the Yankees would say that you are a bad mother effer. And I am a Yankee, and I definitely, when I see, as you say, a dime piece, I say, wow, that is a bad mother effer. Just wonderful lyrics, and I hope you appreciate them more now that you can understand them better.
Kimani, who wants the war, we can't work the army, war like Irani, man, grimy, crime, can't style me, parry, man, XXXTentacion.
One Dawn then asks Kimani Marley, who is the person singing the hook and one of the legendary Marley lineage. He is one of the sons. He is just a legend in his own right. He asks him, who wants war with us? Meaning the people on this track, and I doubt any human would ever want war with these four. These guys and women are just warriors. And he says, we could defeat a whole army. It's not a problem. We go to war like Iran, and Iran is a very, very tough country. You should do some checking into history on Iran. They are legendary warriors. And then he says, I am a grimy crimey, and that is one of my favorite old 80s New York slangs, the grimy crimies. We are just ready for anything. We are hustlers. We are just real gangsters. And then he says, you cannot style me. And styling is, you cannot diss me. You cannot show out in front of me. You cannot put me down. And there's no way any human on earth could ever style Vybz Kartel. He is just a legend amongst legends. And then he says, you can't style him because he will just get out of the way, and that's with new lyrics, new songs, new styles. Every single time he comes out, no human can style him. He is the king of dancehall. And then he says he is XXXTentacion. So he has every single style, and that is a play on the legend XXXTentacion's name. He can literally sing X-rated songs to the women, and then he could sing temptation songs and beautiful songs and love songs, and he can go straight to war, and then he can make a conscious song. There's no song on earth that World Boss hasn't done. He is literally has a library of songs, thousands of songs. I urge you to go check out this man's catalog. He is the hardest working man in the music business, and I do not say that lightly.
Pull up on the men's like taxi man. Now spray cologne, we spray hot metal show man. Real bad man like Sandokan. Real hot girl bad man go pan.
The teacher then says that he will pull up on the opposition's the opposition's block, the opposition's, he will pull right up into their hood, right onto their street, just like a taxi man would, just like an Uber driver would, and they will not be spraying cologne, they will be spraying hot metal at the opposition. Bullets is the key word here. And then he says, Choman, and that is just, he is reinforcing they are some real gangsters. And then he says he is a real bad man, a real top shotter, a real gangster like Sandokan. And I had to go to Google, and I looked it up on Google, and Sandokan is from Waterhouse, which is Portmore, which is where Vybz Kartel is from, and he has quite a story. He killed some cops and then broke out of prison, and you should just read this story yourself. I mean, Sandokan is just intriguing, but he is bigging him up. They are from the same projects, the same area. And then he says, real hot girls, the bad man is who they go upon. So the prettiest women on earth, we all know this, they go for the bad boys. Isn't that correct? The man with money, the man who can show them some excitement, some adventure. All the hottest of hot women, they always end up with a real bad man.
Anyway, we walk the street govern, no fairy tale, no Alice, no Peter Pan. Versace style, Louis V pattern. We strike the street hard, no FIFA plan.
The national treasure of Jamaica, Vybz Kartel, then says that anywhere we walk, the streets are governed. And governed means that they are good. Any single place that Gaza Nation goes, they are good. They run the place. They are not scared of any person anywhere on the globe. And then he says, this is not a fairy tale. This is not made up. This is not Alice in Wonderland. This is not Peter Pan. This is real life. Gaza Nation is one of the strongest, if not the strongest nation on earth, and that we fear no one. And then he says that he has Versace style with a nice Louis Vuitton pattern, and he is not joking about that. This man is imprisoned, and every time a pic is released on Family Day, he is dressed up in Versace, in Louis V, in the finest garments, because he is a king. And then he says, we strike the street hard, no FIFA plan. And strikers in football, in soccer, strikers are the best kickers. So he's saying we hit the streets hard, but this is not a soccer game. Again, this is real life.
Your fam will be a half a tree, your land. We can't forget though, no need no man. We life a sad axe, you read a man. We balls at work, we are the breeder.
And now, World Boss, playing off the last soccer line, he says that he will kick you from Mo Bay to Halfway Tree. And Mo Bay is Montego Bay, Jamaica, and Halfway Tree is also in Jamaica, but it is very far away. So that is a hard kick, and I do hope you land safely. And then he says, we are born to get money. We do not need a man. So he does not need another man in order to make money. He was a born hustler, and there's proof of that. He was probably the first Jamaican musician to have many businesses, and they were all flourishing. He had liquor companies. He was basically the Jay-Z of Jamaica before they locked him up, and he still runs the place. And then he says, we have life sorted out. Vybz Kartel does have life sorted out. Ask the reader, man. Ask all the gossip people. Ask the people who just want to check into other people's lives and not go out and live it for themselves. And then he says, his testicles work. He is a breeder, and he has very many children across Jamaica and foreign. He has children, and he takes care of every single one of them. He is a wonderful father. All his children love him, and he's just saying that real men, they continue the royalty lineage, and he is continuing his whole entire bloodline, and it is just a wonderful truth.
I'm not laugh with it, Batman with him. Smoke high grade and fly like pigeon. Real Batman winner if he have image. School like skimmage in any gal village.
Mr. Palmer, then referring to the last line about how his testicles work very well, says, do not laugh at that last line, because this is a bad man rhythm. This beat is just not made for laughing at. This is for serious MCs, serious musicians. And then he says, we smoke high grade and fly like pigeons, and high grade is the best of the best weed. We marijuana, the same thing that is always in my pipe, and we get high and we fly just like birds. And then he says, we are real bad men. We do not have to have an image. So all these rappers and these dancehall artists that come out and they say, I am a gunman, I am a gangster, I sold 50 kilos of coke, and it's all just an image. It's just a made-up fairy tale story. No. XXX and Vybz Kartel, I can speak on this because I have followed both of them for a long time. They are both real bad men, and all of XXX's fans, we all know how tough he was. He was a real man that stood up on his own too, and that is the same for Vybz Kartel. They do not need an image. And then he says that just like a scrimmage game, when people are playing around, just like in the NBA, it's so easy to score, right? It's not like a real game where the defense is just going hardcore. No, everybody's scoring back and forth. And he says he could go to any woman's village, any place where there are women, and they do not have to know him, and he could easily get vagina in those places. Just like a scrimmage game, he is scoring at all times.
Fuck them wicked and squeeze out liquid. Sharp shooter like big lit dickhead. I feel it twice for the things that they did. TJ tell them we're wild and wicked.
And then the boss of all bosses lets us know that those women that he scores with from every single village he goes to, he has sex with them. Very wicked. He takes care of those women. He is very aggressive in the bedroom. And then he says he will squeeze out liquid. He will ejaculate, presumably into their stomachs, and have another Gaza pickney. And then he says he is a sharpshooter, and then mentions the name, and I have not picked that up. So someone from Jamaica, because I know Gaza Nation will always support Vybz Kartel, please tell me who he was talking about. But he says he is a sharpshooter, just like someone in Jamaica, and probably a top shotter. And then he says most people will have to live life twice just to do the things that Vybz Kartel and XXXTentacion have already done. That is a very big line. And then he says, TJ, tell them we are wild and wicked. And TJ Records is one of the best producers in all of Jamaica. He is a legend, a super legend. And his tagline from Vybz Kartel is "Tell them TJ." And so he's just always playing with words. He is just a wordsmith. So he says, TJ, tell them we are wild and wicked. And that is a phrase that is commonly used in Jamaica. We are wild and wicked. We are just ready for anything at any time. We are born gangsters. And with that last line, we have reached the end of the song Royalty, which is an XXXTentacion, again, rest in peace, and Vybz Kartel masterpiece. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this explanation makes you appreciate this song even more than you already do. And Gaza Nation, big up yourselves as always. I'm just trying to promote dancehall to more people, so I hope you guys enjoyed and appreciated this video. I wanted to make sure that all the Yankees understood what the greatest artist ever, the greatest artist of all time, was actually saying. So until we meet again, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, especially all of you new Yankees that are seeing this for the first time. Please subscribe, because I want you to learn more about Vybz Kartel, and I explain as many songs as I can. He has thousands. But until we meet again, it is Gaza me say forever.
Royalty.